Thankful to Mr. Ram Prasad and to Mr. Madhu, who are organizing, technical and sessions on safety, which is also equally important because on behalf of AP Chambers, we take up issues pertaining to taxation, pertaining to administration, pertaining to various statutes of central and state administration. And I think this is also a crucial aspect where Mr. Madhu and Ram Prasad Garu are helping us out in addressing issues pertaining to engineering and safety. Especially today's session on thermography. It's one of the most basic tenets of engineering, which derives from thermodynamics, the study of energy. And I think the adaptation of thermodynamics to thermography into health and safety is a very crucial aspect because considering the accidents, the way it is, I think we should, thermography now is entered into the mainstream life, starting from SARS, wherein people were being screened by non-contact measure way back about 10 years back. And now with COVID, we've just seen it, penetrating into our lives very rapidly. But today's session on thermography, and we have two good keynote speakers on this, Mr. Apavu, who's a certified energy auditor and a retired chief electrical inspector, and Mr. Ramakrishnan, who is a renowned a safety expert. So the way it impacts us, all of you, most of us would be knowing, like even for as rudimentary, if we had this kind of a thermography for the recent incident in Vizag, where LG Polymers, the tank temperature, the styrene temperature was shooting up because of the gas leak. If someone could, monitor the temperature using a basic instrument, they would have realized that the tank temperature is going up and maybe they could have taken some action. And, the way when the fire is going on, to instead of physically going and seeing whether people are there or not, we can use these thermographic devices to see the difference in temperature on various objects, human beings, combustible items, and other items, non-combustible items, and living forms. So these are various ways it can help us in preventing accidents, and also maybe if not entirely preventing accidents, maybe preventing the quantum of damage. So I'm sure it's going to be an eye-opener for most of these engineers and the professionals who are attending today's session. And I would like to once again welcome all the participants and thank the organizers, especially Mr. Ramprasad, Mr. Madhu, and the keynote speakers, Mr. Ramakrishnan and Mr. Apu, for actively participating, consenting to participate in today's session. Thank you, Ramprasad Garu.
Thank you. I now request Mr. Madhuvara, Chairman of the Safety Subcommittee of the AP Chamber and the coordinator for today's event, to introduce the keynote speaker, Mr. Apavu, retired Chief Electrical Inspector, Government of Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, can I, before doing that, can I request Mr. Ashok to address the gathering?
Thank you, Mr. Madhuvara Garu, and greeting comes to you from Kuwait on behalf of our GSHP, which is a global society of HSE professionals. Our chairman, Mr. Jitu Patel, and our president, Dr. Kamal Soi, also extended their greetings for this collaborative event, particularly as our opening remarks have been given on the importance of this particular topic. As you know, every symptom has to be counted, to address the problem. We always comes with the symptoms, several symptoms. Temperature is one of the such symptom that we need to be addressed in process industries as well as in the human body as well. So today's event is some sort of some eye-opening how the latest technologies can be used to address such systems. So I truly appreciate our Senior Vice President of GSHP, Mr. Madhuvara Garu, for bringing several collaborative events like this. And also Mr. Ram Prasad is our Executive Committee Chair for the risk management and insurance. So we thank both of them for bringing GSHP into almost 40 plus participants of this particular webinar. Thank you, Madhuvara Garu. I am unable to join through video camera because I'm outside, but I always, happy to listen to all the conversations which are going on now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So I take pleasure in introducing the keynote speaker, Mr. S. Apau. He is a Chief Electrical Inspector to the government, retired, freelancer in advising electrical safety, electrical installations, design and energy efficiency. He is a certified energy auditor under BEE. He has been conducting seminars organized by BAS, CEA, BEE, IEE, FICCI, etc. He has undergone training in Japan and Indo-Japan Dialogue on Energy Conservation in India, undergone training in Germany in calibration of reference to electrical energy standards. So he has held various posts and positions in the departments, and being a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Karaikudi. He joined the Tamil Nadu Electrical Inspectorate in 1983 and retired as the CEIG in 2015. With this short note, I now introduce Mr. Apau to kindly address the participants. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Madhuvara.
Very-
Thank you, Mr. Ram Prasad and Sudhir, Mr. Ashok, and the keynote speaker, the presenter, Mr. Ramakrishna, all the participants. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizer, the AP Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and the Global Society of SSC Professionals, and the Institution of Engineers AP chapter. So this is an opportunity for me to extend my keynote speak on the special subject which will be delivered by the expert, Mr. Ramakrishna, the thermography and overview. Friends, Mr. Sudhir has expressed in the beginning note itself very well the background of thermography. And I would like to say a few words because we are all waiting for the main speaker, the expert, to deliver a special program on this. However, I would like to express some of the things to the participants. Daily, day to day, and weekly, we are hearing one or two major fires. Yesterday also, we had a fire from one of the major automobile manufacturer from his service station. I think you are all aware. Also, we are all consistently and throughout the year, there are accidents occurring everywhere in the whole nation, which totals to nearly 10 to 15,000 of accidents are occurring in our station, as per NCRT statistics. So there is one tool, I can say one tool, which can contribute a lot towards this issue, whether it be a breakdown in industrial process or breakdown in electrical component that can be forewarned, and for which this tool, this infrared thermography and thermography will become an important tool for the people, especially for the maintenance people, to address these issues. As far as the industries are concerned, they have to make all the equipments to be active. There cannot be any breakdown for a successful and satisfactory performance. Only will bring a quality component and a benefit, a profit to the owner. So keeping in mind, it is essential to avoid any type of breakdown during the production. Hence, it becomes an important physical property. Temperature is an important physical property. It's an important criteria in every electrical component, not only electrical, whether it be a bearing housing or some other mechanical component. Temperature rise is an important aspect to deal with. Once it shoots up, we can't, it should forewarn whether the every electrical equipment will be every electrical equipment is based on a preset temperature criteria. Temperature rise, for example, for a cable, there should be a temperature rise. For a motor, a temperature rise is there, beyond which it can't be allowed. So once we know the thermography, we handle the thermography and conduct on-the-spot study on doubtful equipment. For example, the temperature rise of a cable, for example, it can be say 70 degrees centigrade for a PVC cable, and a higher temperature can be permissible for HLPA cable. At the termination, it can be easily identified. There will be a difference of temperature between the surface of a cable at the glance as well as the termination at that switch components. Breaker the maintenance engineer knows these things. He knows the technique, how to differentiate between the different temperature signatures exhibited by the different components. He will be in a position to identify the cause in advance. Likewise, since detecting the temperature at the surface becomes an important aspect. Also, it is a handy tool for the energy auditor also, whether it be a temperature inside a building or at a particular place. It will be helpful for them to know and address the issues related to the energy audit. The hotspots on various electrical mechanical components is also an essential thing to be known in advance. It is not only a reliable diagnostic tool to be incorporated in the system for predictive maintenance. For example, thermography has become an essential tool like a tester or screwdriver in industries in order to intervene for a prompt remedy in advance. Though predictive maintenance or condition monitoring can help in this process, it is always necessary to possess this tool for enabling an instant measurement, because once the hazard happens, it will be going out of our control. So it can be forewarned to assess, and proactively we can address the issue. More importantly, the training is an important criteria for the people who can use it, and especially interpreting their results. They should know what should be the temperature level, permissible temperature level at the bearing housing, at the temperature connection, at the MCC or breaker connections, at the bus bars, and the cable tap off, everything they can do either on a continuous basis or on a day-to-day basis when they go around the plant for routine maintenance or routine supervision. So I would suggest every industry to procure and use it. More importantly, the person who are using it should be get trained on the various aspects of temperature analysis and various components and interpretation of the results. With this background, I wish the success of this program, and I would like to learn with you the session from our expert, Mr. Ramakrishna, who has a vast experience in thermography. Please learn, participants, please learn, use, and interact even after the webinar. And I would like to all the participants to make it as a continuous process. With this, I would like to thank the organizers once again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, participants. And thank you, Mr. Ramakrishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Appavu. We have a pleasure now in introducing Mr. Ramakrishnan, our subject matter expert and speaker for this evening. Mr. Ramakrishnan holds a BE in Electrical Engineering, Diploma in Industrial Safety, Diploma in Industrial Pollutions and Control, and is also an accredited safety auditor for DGFA SLI, Directorate General of Factory Advisory Services and Labor Institute, He is an approved safety auditor for the Inspectorate of Factories, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. He is the principal consultant for Asia Pacific Risk Management Services Private Limited, Chennai. And he has conducted more than 400 HAZOP studies and audits across various industries like power, automobile, pharma, chemical, engineering and textile sectors. He is specialized in thermography, electrical and fire safety audits and safety training, and comes with more than 2 decades of experience in various industries. Additionally, he has also conducted more than 300 training programs on safety, health and environment, and he is a faculty for NSC Tamil Nadu and SRMC Chennai. And he has to his credit released a few books in Tamil on safety. I now have pleasure in inviting Mr. Ramakrishnan for this evening. Thank you, Mr. Ramakrishnan. Please take over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ramakrishnan.
You can share your screen.
Yeah, already I have shared. Good evening, everybody.
Your screen is not shared.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Abhi.
Fine. Okay, now you can go to a full screen, Mr. Ramakrishnan.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
First of all, I thank Mr. Ramprasad and Mr. Ashok and Mr. Madhubura for having given me the nice opportunity to present this on thermography. As he has told correctly, either it is a chemical leak or automobile fire or anywhere it is happening, any fire is happening, it is because of one of the main reasons is the temperature rise. So we can easily detect with this non-destructive testing tool in thermography to find out the temperature difference and take the corrective actions. So nowadays we extensively use the thermography for electrical inspections and other areas so that we can find out any deviations earlier and take the corrective action immediately. Infrared rays are a part of an electromagnetic spectrum. Any body will absorb heat and emit rays. So the spectrum ranges from the gamma rays to the radio waves. So in this after the visible range, it comes infrared rays. So this infrared thermography, actually it recognize the emitted infrared rays from the object and converts it into electrical signal that is read as electric temperature and is shown in our screen. So you can see the bottom. I have seen how we are taking the thermograph image in an electrical panel. So this will be the panel image of the thing, and we can use the software to know the exact temperature so that if it exceeds the limit, we can take the corrective action. Actually, these infrared rays are invisible to human eyes, but can be felt as heat wherever it's like a molten metal where we go, it is also emit infrared rays that we feel it as heat. So some of the important very basic things we have to know about the thermography is anybody it is emit infrared rays. That is some of the rays, infrared rays can pass through the object. Some of the rays will be from the reflection from the other objects. So mostly the things will not, most of the things will not transmit the infrared rays. Most of the things are blocking. So the most of the other infrared rays will be either due to reflection or due to the emissivity. That is originated from the object. So transmission, as we have seen, it is not most of the objects are blocking the infrared rays, so that it's almost most of it is not possible to transmit infrared through the object. So reflectance is from the surroundings. So surrounding by radiation also it falls on the surface and it also gets reflected. So it is due to the surface finish, smoothness and matte surfaces we will emit less. So for example, in a concrete surface, so whatever be the reading we have got, mostly 7% of the rays will be from the surrounding, reflected from the surroundings. So another important, this is the emissivity of the surface. So it is the ability to emit infrared rays by the object. So this varies from surface properties like smooth finish, rough finish, or the colors, some of the colors. And so maximum emissivity we can have it is 1, because if there is no reflection, no conductivity, then it comes as a 1, but nearly, but practically it is not possible. For most of the objects from 0.3 to 0.98, we have got emissivity range from different objects. So this is, as a similar concrete case, when the 7% of the rays are reflected, 93% from the emissivity from the object itself it will come. So this is the working principle of the thermal imager. It is like for the first part, it is like an ordinary camera. So we will have a measuring this field of vision. Then the infrared rays will be emitted, the field of vision, that the lens will collect the energy from the field of vision. Then there will be a filter to what is the spectral band, whatever the infrared is, whatever we want to filter. That is from 7 to 14 micrometers. That will be the range of the infrared rays. Then it will be falling on a substrate that will generate electrical signal that will be amplified and converted into temperature, and it will be displayed in the screen. So this is the working principle of the thermal imager. So nowadays we have got the digital image also along with the thermal imager, so that we can see both the thermal image as well as the digital image in the camera. In the camera, we have got option for various type of plates. So palettes. So this is the palette is the type of image we can have from the thermal imager. So this is the ion. This is the ion type palette. So this is normally used for electrical and mechanical equipments. So where you will have a temperature difference, minute difference, and the clarity of the object will be more. So wherever there is a very bright spot will be there, that will be normally it will be up at higher temperature. We have got the software by unloading these images from the equipment. We can go through the software and find out the exact temperature on any area of the screen. Normally this is used for electrical and mechanical. This is the palette for this. Another is rainbow, that is for building wherever you have got AC or heat is escaping from the building. we can find out where actually that is normally on the doors and windows, wherever on the roof, that we can use for it. And this is the gray or white hot pellets. This is mainly used for it is where there is a temperature range is very high, from very huge range is there, then we have to use this gray scale. So where you can have, this is mostly used for security surveillance and aerial topography of the area. We can any place we can use this. Another is the Arctic, that is this is also used for welding thermographic images, so that wherever we are losing heat or AC, that can be imaged and we can find out and take the corrective actions. Nowadays, the thermographic application is almost infinite. So it is from aerospace, automotive, chemical, electronics, electrical, glass, medical, environment, metallurgy, plastics, to name few. Any field of engineering or manufacturing, we can see the applications of thermography. Now we will see some of the applications of the thermography, thermal imager in refinery, engineering, chemical, and pharma industries. So this is the thermal imager taken on water tube boiler. So where there is pentose area, you can see the hot spot. Where there is a bright spot, and then we can see the temperature. On the scale, it is more than 200, 250 degree, 220 degree. So in that case, it's a steam is leaking, so we'll have a loss of steam is there, and will there be a loss of energy. So we can take corrective action and bring it to the normal. So this is again a classic case of safety valve. So it's a mechanical device. If it is not properly seated or the springs are not rated, it's able to withstand that. Then there will be a leak of steam from the boiler. So this we can find out through this thermography without any going nearby. Even from 10 meters, we can take the thermal imager and see is there any leak of steam is there in from the boiler safety valve. This is very useful in boiler operations. Another important in thermography in refinery is process heaters, where you heat the crude oil for further processing. And to be in this, there will be a burner, fuel will be burning, and in the coil there will be, and the insulated jacket thing inside there will be coil, and the crude will be circulated. So if there is any refractory failure is there, then we will lose a lot of heat, and that may lead to accident also, that we will see later. There may be a heat excess radiation on the tube that may lead to accidents. So these things we can find out from the thermal imager, taking a thermography at periodical level, and we can make the corrective actions and prevent the major accidents. Similarly, and the fluid catalytic cracking unit also. It is also the same like this, where you are fractionating the refinery, the crude, and we get the petrol, whatever, gasoline, whatever we want to get it from the petrol, loafings, everything. So in this also, the heat is the most important. We use a lot of heat. The surface is heat over it, not having a uniform heat. Then wherever there is a hot spot, you can find out there is a temperature leak is there. So then we have to take corrective action, take a preventive maintenance, and take a shutdown plan, what to do, and the plan for shutdown maintenance. Another important is steam trap. So we will not be knowing that steam is leaking from the trap, and that will be resulting in a very huge loss of money. That we can imagine. This is a good left side is a good steam trap. There is no steam on the right side. From the steam pipe it is coming. On the right side there is no hot spot. Then it is working all right. Whereas on this right side, this is completely passing the steam. So the steam will be continuously leaking from the system, then we'll have a lot of steam that can be done. Another important thing, as Mr. Chairman has told, that the temperature we can also monitor in the this LG polymer accident, and similarly avoid overfilling and monitoring the level during filling. So we can find out by the additional level monitor, thermography as additional level monitoring device, where we can also find out additionally for the sediments also, how much sediments have accumulated in the tank bottom, so that we can take preventive maintenance action. Another important thing is nowadays it's even to monitor the flare failure. So in Costa Rica, Mexico accident, where there is a huge release of hydrogen sulfide from the natural gas processing plant. The flare has failed because of excessive generation and due to the hydrogen sulfide due to the processing overloading. That resulted 20 minutes there was release of hydrogen sulfide. That resulted in 22 persons at the site field and 320 persons hospitalization. This can nowadays now we can prevent. If there is a flare, the pilot is failure or any other flare is not working, immediately we can have connected to the system by the infrared measurement that can alert the people and take immediate corrective action to prevent a major accident. And in the engineering industry, we can use for various things. This temperature monitoring in another area is scrapyard and warehouse, where the people is less frequented, and there is potential for accident with the temperature rise. Even in the coolant, there will be oil will be there, and that can react with aluminum chips. The release of hydrogen and result in fire accidents. These can be continuously monitored, and is there any fire that can be detected by the infrared camera that can alert the people by the even we can hook up to the mobiles and systems. This is another thing in nowadays. There are a lot of accidents happening in UPS systems. So one of the main reason for the UPS failure is the battery failure. So the temperature terminal loose or battery internal reaction that may lead to failure. That we can find out. So we find out that I will come in the future slide how we have prevented a UPS failure in pharma company. These things we can, these hotspots we can find out in batteries by thermography equipment, using the thermography equipment, what is the exact temperature of the terminals. So if it is high, when there is all other things are normal, only the one battery terminal is hotspot. This we call it as hotspot, and we take corrective action. And another thing is whenever the fluids are passing through the pipeline, there will be accumulation of sediments and restrict the flow in the pipeline. So this we can do by thermography, where there is a bottom we can see the color change. So that is the sediment accumulated in the pipeline. So this we can predict early how and take the corrective measures. And another thing, important thing is leaking of gas leak from any production site. It's a dummy and the plants. There is a leak of gas from the plants, and also from the pressure gauge. The air is leaking in the pressure gauge. So these things we can, for energy audit and saving any toxic gas release, we can monitoring. We can use this and prevent the incidents. So in kilns also, it's over processing and cement kilns. They have a continuous monitoring of the temperature of the kiln surface, so that any changes in the refractory conditions that we can we can decide the condition of the refractory thickness, and if there is a failure of the refractory, we can take corrective action. Nowadays, any length of kiln and any length, any process, we can have a continuous monitoring of the surface. And we use extensively in for electrical and this automobile and other engineering industries, other places. Wherever there is a motor, we used to check for the end bearing temperatures wherever possible. So the bearing, if the temperature is very high, the grease will melt and that will result in the friction and lead to the failure of the motor. So that we can prevent earlier by periodically monitoring this thing, we can failure. And nowadays, as told earlier, told that even the non-contact COVID temperature scanning, we are using thermography. So even they have got advanced things have come with the monitoring each body temperatures, and whenever it is high, it gives alarm and warning, and continuously monitoring, so the results also continuously. So now we will see some of the case studies. This is happened, as I told you earlier. UPS is one of the main problematic area in nowadays in all its various plants that has resulted in huge accidents. In Chennai, one plant totally gutted, more than 300 crores lost because of fire originated from UPS. So in my experience, we have been to a pharma unit. We are scanning the taking thermography in the UPS system. As shown earlier, there was one battery terminal and there was a temperature rise is more than 4 degrees. So normally the batteries are kept at, system is kept at 25 degrees to avoid increase the life of the battery. Otherwise the life will go drastically reduced. So we immediately we take the corrective action, tighten the terminals, and we find with on the left side you see the terminal difference from 30 to 33.9, 30 more than 3 degree rise. Whereas after doing the corrective action, taking the terminal tightness and again redoing the thermography, we find out almost within 1 or 2 degree difference. So this is the thing we can find out, because if this goes unchecked, that can result in sparking and lead to a failure. And another thing is when I was doing compressor thermography of the compressor supply, it was very high, 149, and immediately they stopped the operation, gone to the bypass. Another spare compressor for line, and when they checked totally the contactors were failed. So immediately they changed, and so this is a classic example of how we can use thermography to prevent any fire accident that can result in an equipment failure also. And another thing is randomly checked the transformer. The OLTC cabinet was temperature was very high. So on checking that, it was that the OLTC contactor was moving contactor got fitted due to periodic movement, regular operations. That resulted in preventing the failure of the transformer. As I told, this furnace refineries for reformers, this furnace that we have got the crude oil is circulated and it is heated to the waste gas and all. Then we go for further processing, fractioning. So due to failure, there was a flame impingement on the tubes. The tube got failed. That resulted in the fuel coming in contact with the flame. That resulted in a huge accident. So these things we have got opening in viewing temperature, viewing doors. If we are able to take thermography through the viewing doors, we can know the condition of the pipes, whether it is in a hot condition beyond the permissible range. So we can prevent the accidents. So having seen that how we have this principle of thermography and how it's working and used in various systems and some of the few cases, So when we are using thermography, we have to know that when I have to take what I have to interpret from the image. So this is for the exposed metal components. So like electrical contacts or main panels or distribution panels. Normally it is less than 10 degree. There is no problem. So they can continue without any investigation or anything. So if it is between 10 to 25 degree, we have to go for the next schedule. We have to take the maintenance activity. So if it is 25 to 50 degree, so we have to take the corrective action at the earliest opportunity, because all the plants cannot be switched off immediately whenever you find any abnormality. So we have to end of the shift or end of the week or the end of the batch. We have to see and take the immediate replacement. If it is more than 50 degree, more than the atmosphere, so if it is 32 degree, from 80 to 90 degree, it comes. Then there is some serious problem that maybe that we will see what are the problems that can come in an electrical system. So they have to take immediate corrective action. Otherwise, then may result into failure of the equipment or result in huge fire. So for oil immersed components like transformer winding and all inside, so if there is 3 to 10 degree visible radiation, so we can say they have got cooling pins to calculate the oil and keep the normal temperature. So if there is within 30 days, you can repair if there is a 3 to 10 degree changes. So if there is more than 10 degree means the cooling is not effective, so there may be a potential failure that we have to take at the earliest within 10 days. If it is 30 to 50 degrees change increases, there means there is no cooling at all. So because of the system working, transformer or other system that contactor is working, because that oil is not properly circulated or oil is degraded or so many other reasons, it may go wrong. So then we have to take immediately the corrective actions. Some of the electrical, this is because we use extensively thermography for electrical system monitoring. Some of the reasons that can go lead to temperature rise in electrical things are loose joints, corroded, thinner broken wires, not properly connected, undersized cable, high resistance joint. This may lead to the heating of the electrical sectors. Similarly, on the if there is a load not balanced in the circuit, or a fuse rating is not proper, then there will be a heating on the fuse. This you can see this image. Left side, one normally ROEB, that our phase is heated more, either by the overloading or by the other reasons. Similarly, when we take the thermography, where there is no electrical supply or where there is nothing is connected, there also we find the temperature rise. This is because of reflected temperature. Normally, when we do the outdoor thermography, because of sunlight's reflection on the objects, so we find it the temperature is very high. Similarly, on the transformer taking outdoor, that will be we'll find out. Some of the colors, red and yellow, that will be very fast color and hot colors. There also the image will be giving as if it is very hot, but actually it is not hot. So the black will observe it, and there is no change in slow, gray, dull colors. There is no change. And another reason for thing is if there is any other things blocking the infrared rays, then there will be a temperature variation on the surface. Another reason is the inductive heating. Whenever there is magnetic rays or generated due to the current flowing on the conductor, that may pass on the metal parts that may heat it up. Then there also we find it the hot spots, but actually it is not a hot spot, but it comes very rarely. Similarly, on the if you take the shiny surfaces, so you will not be able to get the proper temperature because of reflectance. Everything will be reflected, and you will not have the correct reading. Then we have to go for correct emissivity correction for this. Similarly, the glass will block all the infrared rays. So in a glass panel, if it is there, you will have a case, and you will not be able to have any reading for the equipment. Thanks very much, sir. These are all the things. This is a NDT course for thermal imager is for NDT for thermography is for level 1 and level 2 is there. And this is the thing we have. I have compiled this in a how is the principle, how the camera works, what are the various palettes, various actions, potential actions we can prevent by thermography. Actually, thanks very much. We are from Asia Pacific Risk Management Services, Chennai. We are headed by R.R. Balakrishnan. He's a renowned person on pharma and insurance industry. And his support and Mr. Ram Prasad, I'm able to make this presentation today. I thank you very much for having sparing your valuable time and supporting us. And we are being associated with any industry, you name it, we are associated. We are renowned in pharma, refinery and chemical. We do a lot of consultancy for either in India as well as overseas. And we are fairly with associated with Hyundai, TVS, and other leading engineering industries. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for giving a nice opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramakrishnan.
Thank you.
It was a very interesting presentation. I think a lot of us, at least me personally, have learned a lot of things new today. We now invite questions and queries that you may have for Mr. Ramakrishnan. Over to the participants.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is P.V. Rao. The apparatus, whatever
Thermal imager.
You are showing, is it connected to Internet of Things, like that output can be taken to the servers in real time, or standalone?
No. There are, as I told you, the flare case. We are continuously monitoring also, we can have. The only thing is we got the input, the image taken from the source. Any source we are monitoring the temperature or parameter, it is monitored. When you have it in electronic form, you can go for anywhere. Actually, this we have got a software, we download and then we analyze. So virtually also and online also we can monitor and do the necessary corrective actions. Anywhere you can transmit online.
Thank you.
It is like a CCTV camera.
Yeah, I got it.
There
Thank you.
The digital image we transfer, we do this thermal imager, we will transfer. We can do it.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Good evening, sir. This is Satnam Singh.
Yeah.
I just want to know that, for example, there is some emissivity difference between each and every surface, right? Means for.
I can't able to hear properly. Please.
Am I audible right now?
Yeah, you are audible, but I can't. Yeah, please.
Okay. Sir, I have a query regarding the emissivity for certain surfaces. For example, if we are taking some thermal image for a shiny surface, say for example, there is a control panel cabinet and it is made up of aluminium or some other kind of paint is coated on that. So if we are getting some, or if we are trying to cover some thermal image from outside of that control panel or outside that shiny surface, how do we get to know the exact value of the you can say the spot difference, that whether there is a hot spot inside that particular control panel or not? Hope I am able to clarify my query to you, sir.
Yeah, very good question, sir. This has happened also in my initial stages. So I used to get a lot of temperature difference, and whether the instrument is right or wrong, or we are taking image. That is the thing that will happen to anybody who is introduced to thermography. Actually, whenever you take the thermal image, so without any reflection, heat reflection, if you take in a dark, if you take the thermography, it is very good. So, but it's not practically possible. So normally we used to observe the temperature on the bolts and nuts. Hello.
Bolts and nuts. Okay.
Both
Okay.
and wherever the joints. So
Okay.
where you connect in the bolts, now when you open the panel, you can find out the connection, bolt and nuts, joint nut. So that surface will not be a shiny surface normally. So we
Yes,
take the emissivity as a 0.95 as in most of the cases. So there is a emissivity chart is given by the chart is available. If you want to more exactly precisely you want to do it, you can put the surface from the digital image. You can find out the nature of the surface and put it correct, verify with the chart and put it and have it the most exact readings. Because this is also used in process and research. Also, they are using thermography, sir. Where there is more important to have a very precise reading. But in our case, the temperature range is 10 degree, 20 degree, 50 degree, very wide range is there, not 0.1, 0.2. So then we can have it in the emissivity as 0.95 as standard, something we can take it as we can do it in the thermography.
Right, sir. So, so nice of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hope I have clarified your.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? Gentlemen.
This is Gopalakrishnan.
Yeah.
What will be the cost of the instrument, sir?
It ranges. Nowadays, it has come very cheap. 1.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs. It is there. Depends on our application. Normal, it comes to 1.2 lakhs, 1.3 lakhs for a temperature range of 300 degrees. You can go. When you go for more and more temperature range is increasing, the cost of the equipment will also be increased. I mean 1.3 lakhs. A lot of reputed manufacturers are available. So you can contact any test or player or any other reputed manufacturer we can get. And we have to calibrate once in a year the equipment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody? Hi.
Good evening, sir.
Any questions?
Praful, yeah.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Praful,
Good evening.
I'm audible. Good evening, sir. Praful here.
No, Mr. Praful, your volume has to increase. Your voice is very low.
Sir, now I'm audible.
You are audible, but if it can be a little louder, fine. But please proceed.
Yes, sir. Sir, regarding to this Maharashtra Fire Prevention Life Safety Measure Act 2006, is it mandatory to like most of the buildings or cooperative society to conduct these thermography test maybe once in a year, or it is mandatory, sir? Because nowadays we are facing a lot of these high-rise building fires in Mumbai. So is it kind of an act, or I just wanted to.
To my knowledge, I have gone through the Tamil Nadu factory life and fire and life safety rules. That doesn't ask for a thermograph. I do not know the latest changes, anything they have made. We can verify and do it. I can verify and tell you properly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well,
thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Chandrakumar this side, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you spoke about the calibration.
Yeah.
So should we have to send it to the manufacturers, which I think is mainly are into abroad, or should we have to go with the NABL accredited laboratory?
No, the manufacturers, they are approved people. They give the calibration certificate.
They are present in our country itself, sir?
Yeah. Any test or clear, all reputed, any reputed manufacturer, everybody has got branches in India, and they do the services.
Okay.
We have got a thermal imager, and we do it calibrate once in a year with the suppliers.
Okay. So is it how many years should we have to go for a new instrument, sir? Is there any period kind of a thing, 5 years, 10 years?
No, not necessarily. So not necessarily. You can use it continuously for a long time. There is no absolutely, unless there is changes, drastic changes in equipment. The very latest model is coming with the lowest price, like that. Any changes come, then otherwise there is no need to change the equipment. We calibrate as long as the equipment is calibrated, it is fit for use, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Sir, good evening, sir. Once again, Praful here. I have a question for Apav, sir. That initially he has told that 10 to 15,000 fire accidents happens as per the static NCR statics reports. So could you
Yes.
just guide us regarding to which report was that, sir? I could not get the report name.
Yes, yes. It's National Crime Record Bureau, NCRB. You can access it from their website, National Crime Record Bureau.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions, gentlemen?
In fact,
Okay, if there are still any questions, you could mail it to us, the AP Chamber. So Prakash will post the email address of the AP Chamber here in the chat box. And once again, thank you very much. It was a very interesting evening. And we invite more and more people to join the AP Chamber. Industries and businesses are welcome to join AP Chamber, those in Andhra Pradesh. And at the other level, we invite membership with the GSHP also for safety professionals. Welcome once again. And thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you very much.
Invite Mr. RP to give the vote of thanks.
Sir?
RP Duvada. Mr. Duvada can give the
Thank
vote
you,
of
sir.
thanks.
Yeah, I'm very much here, sir.
Yeah,
you can
come.
please propose the vote of thanks.
Very good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me thank Mr. Madhu Burra Garu for giving this opportunity of proposing vote of thanks. This evening, moreover, he has invited me. He has reminded me also to attend this program. Otherwise, I would have missed this program. Today, I'm here. It's a wonderful program. Of course, I would have missed it if Mr. Burra has not reminded me in the afternoon. And Mr. Ramakrishnan, sir, it was a wonderful talk, sir. In fact, you have covered in various sectors, and your background, of course, you are the right person for today's evening. The organizers choosing you as a speaker, and moreover, of course, you are a consultant. You are definitely. I have seen that refinery part, the case studies. I am from the steel sector. You have touched something like even UPS, where recently there was an accident in power sector, APSAP. That was the main failure, which was not rightly recognized. And this is one, I think any participant from that side would have definitely benefit from this talk. Of course, sir, it's a wonderful talk, and I'm also personally benefited from this. But I should not miss this opportunity of thanking AP Chambers of Commerce and Global Society, Angel of Engineers, all together coming and organizing program. And somebody was talking to me in the afternoon, sir, what is exactly behind three organizations coming together? In fact, after that, I clarified with Mr. Madhugaru. Global Society of HSE Professionals, because of them, I have seen Mr. Gaurav Party is also today here, and AP Chambers, because of a lot of senior members, they are here. And of course, I'm a fellow member, I'm a chartered engineer from Ministry of Finance. There I have seen many participants. It's a wonderful program, sir, because all three global institutions coming together and organize this event, and many more. I wish many more such events should come forward. Demography really is a good topic chosen by our organizations, and Mr. Ram Prasad, you really hosted it well, sir. And it has initially started with our Apurva Subhaya Garu as with a keynote speaker. Thank you one and all for attending this program. And this one program recent times about 56 participants all along, but continuously 1 hour. Because normally these webinars, what happens in my experience, initially there will be about 100, then in between 50, and the end when we come to vote of thanks, it come to 1 or 2. But I'm seeing it's still 46 people are online. Wonderful, sir. All this, all the participants, without which this program would have been so lively. And all the questions have been answered by Mr. Ramakrishnan Garu. Thank you, sir. Thank you one and all. Fine. And I'm once again thankful for giving this opportunity for me, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duvada Garu.
Thank you, sir.
So on behalf of AP Chambers, Global Society of HSC Professionals, the Institution of Engineers, thank you once again, Mr. Apau, for accepting our request to give the keynote speech, and then Mr. Ramakrishnan for your excellent presentation. Simply but widely covered, and definitely I hope the participants have benefited out of this, and whatever clarifications you require, you may please feel free to contact Mr. Ramakrishnan or Mr. Apau. I think all the people have already given their mail IDs and which have been noted. So we definitely, again, will get back to you with some very good programs very shortly, and hope you will be participating. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.